Bible gives us a couple of reasons. The first reason in Revelation 12:17 of why Satan hates the remnant people is because they keep the commandments of God. You see, the overwhelming cry of modern Christianity is that one, you can't possibly overcome sin, and two, you can't possibly obey the law. And God's end-time people, through living the faith of Jesus, through being crucified with Christ, show that it is, in fact, possible to both obey Jesus out of love for him and to overcome sin completely. And Satan knows, as the book of James says, that if he can get you to disregard even one commandment, that he's got you. And modern Christianity's favorite sin is to forget the one commandment that begins with the word remember. The second reason Revelation 12:17 gives is that these people have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Now, what is that? We have to compare Scripture with Scripture, Isaiah 28. And in obeying Isaiah 28, when we compare Scripture with Scripture, Revelation 19:10 says the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. You see, one of the signs that God is with his people is through speaking through his prophets. Enoch, Noah, Moses, Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, the list goes on. And in the New Testament church, the Apostle Paul was the prophet to the church. So this isn't saying that everybody would be a prophet, just that God would manifest the gift of prophecy among those people. And what's fascinating about that is that at the beginning and end of every single time prophecy in the Bible, God raised up prophets at the beginning and the end, sometimes the same prophet in both. For example, Noah. Noah was the prophet at the beginning and the end of that 120-year probationary period. Jeremiah was the prophet at the beginning of the 70 years captivity, and Daniel was the prophet at the end of the 70 years captivity. God gave the 490-year prophecy through Daniel. He announced its fulfillment through John the Baptist and through Jesus himself. Now, the 490-year prophecy also has the same start date as the 2300 years because it's just a smaller chunk of the 2300 years. Now, God is consistent. If he gave the prophecy through Daniel of the 2300 years, and he keeps up the pattern, then we can expect God to manifest the spirit of prophecy through somebody else at its fulfillment. This is one of the reasons why we as Seventh-day Adventists believe in the prophetic ministry of Ellen White. One of the other and more important reasons is that everything she wrote in her books is completely in line with the Bible. And one of the other reasons that I believe Satan hates this church is because the name is a standing rebuke to the Protestant community. While the rest of Protestantism is holding hands and seeking to be ecumenical with Catholicism, our name, Seventh Day, points people back to the Sabbath of creation, which is opposite of what the Catholic Church wants, and Adventist, meaning the second coming of Jesus. We don't believe in a rapture. We believe in the visible, literal second coming of Jesus. That's why people hate us. That's why we get accused of being things like a cult. But I would rather sit at the table with Jesus and be called every name in the book than to betray him. As the old hymn says, take this world, but give me Jesus.